Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. I have not been on YouTube in I think 3 to 4 years. I believe I'm wearing the same color headpiece I was wearing when I made my very first video that I was extremely hesitant to create because I don't like to be on camera at all. Um, I'm not super shy, but I am a very modest person. And that just does not mean in how I dress. It just means within myself. And it's been a long time since I've been on here. Today I am quite tired. However, I promised myself and I said that when the true time of Ramadan comes in by the natural year, not these man-made calendars, that even though because of my health condition right now I'm not able to actually fast, but I will be reading precepts and chapters of the Quran in English. So these videos are going to be called Quran in English. The reason why I have decided to do this is simply because of Allah's inspiration. Don't mind if I look exhausted today because I just am. I got up at 4:30 a.m. to make my prayer. I've been up ever since. I only got probably a 45-hour nap. I can't sleep too late because then I won't be able to go back to sleep at a proper time tonight. And I've had a lot going on. So today is the 17th. I believe it's the 17th of July. Or is it the 18th? I don't even know. I forgot. It is the third day of the ninth moon of the natural year. It is the last month of summer and the true Ramadan. So on my Instagram, I have been posting a lot on Instagram the last 2 years. Now that I figured out how to use Instagram, and on Instagram I have a little over 200 followers. Some are very much consistent and they're following and asking me questions pertaining to Ramadan and the natural calendar and the Gregorian calendar and all this type of stuff. And as I explained on Instagram, I post and I call them spiritual uploads. I make spiritual uploads according to how I am inspired to do so. However, I've gotten DMs in the last couple of years regarding the subject of how we naturally supposed to calculate time and observe Ramadan, because if you're not observing the natural count of time, you're not performing Ramadan or Hajj at the proper times either, even if you're not able to make it to perform a Hajj and you fast those 10 days, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribes that we do if we're not in the precincts of the sacred area. You're not going to be doing it at any proper time in general. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, glorious the high, has inspired me to read of the Quran in English because nobody's doing it. Everybody is giving little precepts here and there, but nobody is truly reading the Quran aloud in a common language that we all understand. And right now that's English because I am American in America. And I get asked a lot of questions my whole life regarding Islam. And I have made this YouTube channel to bring to light answers to those questions as best as I can, because I want to make everyone understand that Islam, which means submission to the Creator, did not begin with the Prophet Muhammad. It was that particular man and that particular ethnic group that the Creator chose to hold his final message to mankind as far as revelation. But Islam has existed all over the world since Adam, and when God created other men and women and scattered them all over the earth. It has showed itself forth in many different ways and forms, and according to every individual's time and place and group that they were in. So I personally have a problem with the majority of Muslims in their part worship of the Prophet, and I'm sorry to say that, but that's the reality. We speak against the way of Christianity and Catholicism, how they associate the person of the Prophet Isa, or they say Jesus, and his mother Mary, in some type of Godhead position with the Creator. That is blasphemy. The Creator is one on his throne alone. We acknowledge all of God's prophets, from Adam to the Prophet Isa or Jesus to Muhammad. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that He has sent messengers and prophets to every people. And He said in the Quran, there are some that I have told you of, and some of which I have not. So Islam has showed itself forth on the earth for tens of thousands of years, for however long God had created mankind, scattered them through the earth. Islam is just a final message to mankind of this ultimate message of God's oneness and the unity of mankind, and what we are supposed to be united under that same purely monotheistic acknowledgement, not belief, acknowledgement. So I was not able to post on the first day of Ramadan or the second day. I believe this is the 17th, so I believe this is the third day. The new moon came in on the 14th, and of course we fast the next day. I will be getting into the subject of Ramadan. I want to have it precise, and don't mind the raggedy. I've had this shirt since I was like 20 years old. I'm now 35, and it still fits. But it's comfortable, and as women, we just like to, sometimes we don't want to give things up because they are comfortable. Like, why would I throw out this shirt if only this cuff is up? I can just sew that. This whole shirt's still fine, just this one cuff. Don't mind that. But now I forgot what I was going to say. I'm easily distracted. And that's also a symptom of my health issue right now, that thankfully I finally got an appointment with a doctor at the end of this month, and I hope she has brains to properly give me the proper test so they can know exactly what my diagnosis is, so that we can treat it accordingly so I can get my health back. So as I was saying, I was going to read a surah or a precept of the Quran every day for every day of this moon of Ramadan, and it's going to be called Quran in English, spiritual uploads, Quran in English for the natural moon of for the true Ramadan during the acknowledging the natural year. So I was going to try to read 3 surahs today, and these are specific surahs that, as I was reading them, because I read Quran fairly every day or every other day, as I was reading Quran, there were things that was pointing out to me that I wanted to share. And again, if you follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Courage Writes. So that is courage with a K, writes with a Z at the end of writes. Courage Writes. That's my Instagram. And I'm probably going to put it inside the link in my YouTube profile, because I don't think I ever did, because I had a YouTube before I had an Instagram. I had Instagram, I think, a year after I had my YouTube, but I have gone through a lot in the last 3 to 4 years, especially with the heart-wrenching passing of my grandmother, that has actually led me to become ill, because I've gone through a lot of stress and issues taking care of her. Being a caretaker of somebody that has a debilitating illness is extremely hard. You lose yourself. You go through all their anger, all their hurt, all their frustrations with them. Sometimes they take it out on you, and you try your best to be patient in that. But my grandmother passed last year, and I'm going through so much. And I'm here now, and I'm going to read a chapter of the Quran, the first one that I was inspired to share. I think it's a little over 100 verses, and I will start that in this next video. I was going to try to, like I said, I can't speak. I was going to read 3 today to make up for the 2 days I lost, but I'm quite exhausted right now. I have to eat by a certain time, so that's not going to happen. This might be split into, because it's late, and that's just how my day went, this might be 2 parts, because I do have to eat at a specific time. So this video is going to end, and I'm going to start the reading. I am not going to add too much interjection into this stuff either, because a lot of it is what I'm going to be reading is open and self-explanatory. However, if any of you do have questions as to anything I have read, if anything struck a chord with you to ask a question, I don't turn my comments off, but all my notifications are off on my phone, because I subscribed to way too much stuff a couple of years ago, and I turned all of my notifications off. So the best way to message me if you have a serious question is go to my Instagram and just send me a DM if you have Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, I'm going to have a set day that I look at my my notifications, which will probably be I'll probably do it on a Sunday each week, where I go on my YouTube and check to see if anybody asked me any questions in my comments. But thank you if you're here, and enjoy the reading. I pray that anybody that is seeking spiritual growth gets so much fulfillment out of it. by God's grace and loving kindness. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.